Welcome to Star Notes, your monthly astrology forecast with Mikailah Rachael from Star Witch Astrology. Mikailah Rachael is a hereditary folk witch, soul astrologer, and transpersonal therapist experienced in oracular traditions and Western ritual arts. In these episodes, we explore the major transits, energetic trends, and cosmic shifts shaping the month ahead, and offer easy, practical ways to work with these energies in your everyday life. I wish to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which I live and record, the Wanjerabara people. I honour their enduring connection to the lands, waters, and communities, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. I also extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples.
Hello, beautiful star lovers. It is so wonderful to be invited as a special guest to join Hannah Forrest in her podcast, Old Ways for the New Age. My name is Mikailah Rachael and I am the creatrix of Star Witch Astrology. So I will be joining you monthly with Star Notes, and this is where I will give you my perspective from my witchy eyes, the astrological skies, the heavens, as above, so below. We'll be working with the planetary aspects throughout the month, a brief overview, and I'll be weaving in witchy star lore, apotropaic magic, and schedules and routines are not big in this. It's more around slow listening movement as a hearth or hedge witch. However you resonate or wish to call yourself, it is about how we have one foot in the seen and the unseen as we walk through life. With this Star Notes episode, we're going to be looking at the astrological heavens for February 2026 and observational practices combined with simple kitchen witchery. So when I talk about kitchen witchery, how I interpret that is there doesn't need to be performative magic. There doesn't need to be a lot of beautiful magical paraphernalia, though, you know, that may be your thing. So all of these are just suggestions to weave into your own sacred magical path workings. And, you know, whether it is 5 minutes, 1 minute, or if you've got the luxury of spaciousness to spend more time daydreaming, looking at the trees, your environment around you is very special to me. And it's when we walk this way and incorporate it into our lives, it's stepping out of ordinary time and into a relationship with your environment and land, the genius loci, which is known as the living spirit of a place. And we can find that wherever we are, whether we are urban city dwellers or rural country folk, there is always a rise in the land and a special fork in the road or a bend in the stream. Let us begin with the astrology for February. So the skies open in February with an incredible full moon in Leo, which was on the 2nd of February. And so this was the cosmic rebellion call of love. And the fire trine was very potent because it formed a fire trine to the asteroid Cassandra, who in classical mythology is known as the silenced prophetess. And because it's a fire trine with the full moon, so the moon in Leo, 13 degrees, and with the sun in Aquarius, this powerful full moon energy with Cassandra is a fierce reminder that your truth does not require permission to speak, because Cassandra's story throughout history has been about the dismissal of woman's intuitive knowing and sacred feminine wisdom. So Cassandra, I've written about her as a threshold figure, and it is about having a brave heart to know that there is a place of ferocious love and an empowered voice to speak out. So with this, we are looking at determination, feminine leadership, and it is about choosing to be present with yourself with this very playful, engaging Leo moon energy. And some of the sacred botanicals of Leo, which is a sign ruled by the sun, uh, I love to work with gold flowers, calendula, marigold, sunflowers, whatever you have around you that brings in the color of the warmth of the sun. And of course, there is an incredible opening in the month of February with a solar eclipse on the 17th of February. And for us here on the east coast of Australia in Queensland, it is on the 17th of February, the Tuesday, 10 p.m. in the evening. Now, of course, you'll need to change this time zone to wherever you are located. And a solar eclipse always happens on a new moon. A lunar eclipse always happens on a full moon. So the solar eclipse is when the sun and the moon are exact in Aquarius. So this is the Aquarius solar eclipse, 28 degrees. And this is a significant time because we also have Venus rising reborn as the evening star. So around this time, depending on your location, any time from mid-February onwards, if you look out after sunset to your western horizon, you will be able to see Venus rising as the evening star just after twilight, and she'll be visible out to the western horizon for around 7 to 8 months, depending on your location. But coming back to the solar eclipse on the 17th of February, this is a opening for the eclipse season for 2026, and we are setting new intentions with this. So what I would love to offer is a ritual of washing your front door. So this is where you can keep it very practical. Kitchen witchery is foremost here. And you start by setting a clear intention. So perfect to do on the dark new moon or even a few days after. And you are setting a clear intention to clear away the old energy and allow the new to come through. You're welcoming in the new energy. So you prepare with a bucket of water, fresh cloths, any herbs. I love growing rosemary. And you may wish to get a new doormat, or you may wish to create some witch's bells to hang on the front hook or hang over your doorknob. So I love creating witch's bells, and this is also part of working with everyday magic. Now, what we're going to do is we're clearing the path outside your front door. So sweeping the front area to clear away any dirt or debris. I have special flower pots and pot plants growing at my front door. So this is an ideal opportunity to repot them with fresh potting mix to give them a little trim back, depending on what the weather is like seasonally where you're living. And most importantly, when you are washing the outside of the front door first, you're stating your intentions for the new to be welcomed into your home as you wash the door using a natural solution of water, and start on the outside and then you move into the inside. Now, it is optional, but you can draw or paint protective sigils, so working with apotropaic magic. I use chalk at the entrance of my front door. On the steps leading up to my front door, I use chalk to paint beautiful sigils that are protective. I personally grow hydrangeas that is an old witch's remedy to protect the boundaries of your home. And if you can, growing hydrangeas on the east facing wall to welcome the dawn of the sun is traditional as well. So these are just some beautiful, simple rituals that you can do. It doesn't have to be on the planetary hour, though that is wonderful to do, but any time where you've got the spaciousness and you are not rushed. So this is really important when we work with these energies, is that we are not rushing ourselves. We are learning to what I call witch walk, which is a practice of learning how to be in your environment and looking at where your environment, your neighborhood, your trees, your plants, the spirit of the place where you live, the genius loci of the land calls you. And in a world that is rushing and hyper focused on the hustle culture, this is where we are learning to restore ourselves into right relationships. So it's important as well to give an offering back. So ground, center, and give an offering back, whether it's your breath, a song, a strand of hair, a whispered thanks, or some poetry or a song. So throughout February, there is quite a spectacular rare occurrence called the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. So this is where we look at the planet, what the energy is. The sign is how it is manifesting, and the house is where it's playing out in your own personal natal chart. So if you're an avid astrology lover, tracking where these transits are in your own natal chart in the house sector will give you lots of clues to how to prepare and integrate and work with these planetary transits. So this is a cosmic invitation this month to expand your heart. And Saturn entering Aries on the 14th of February, so just before the eclipse, the solar eclipse, as I mentioned, is on the 17th, and the Venus evening star is rising. This is a very rare and sacred cosmic moment. Saturn is the wise crone witch that resides within you. Saturn is about mastery of self. And what this energy is asking of us is to make sure our foundational roots are strong into the earth. So with star notes, I'm going to be putting a transpersonal astromythos lens onto the planets, which is engaging with them in a way that resonates with an archetype. So with Saturn, to me, this is Hecate, the wise queen of witches at the crossroads. And what we are working with again is another threshold guardian. And Saturn entering into Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So this is a whole new cycle that is beginning for ourselves. And Aries is cardinal fire. So this is about mastery of the self, of working with the fire of initiation, of new ways forward, the ancient teachings of the old. So this is resembling the iconic name of ancient ways, traditional ways, the old ways coming into a new cycle for ourselves. It is based on self-governance and agency. So we are becoming empowered, determined, and we're ushering in a new era of spiritual autonomy as well, because as well as Saturn moving into Aries, we also have Neptune. And Neptune has a cycle of 164 years. So it takes 164 years for Neptune to go through the 12 zodiacal signs and spends around 13 to 14 years in each sign, depending on the retrograde cycles. So basically, we are talking about a very slow-moving outer transpersonal planet, Neptune. Neptune is the transpersonal planet of love and spiritual consciousness. This is the conscious dreamer. And Neptune moving into Aries is around from, 27th of January 2026, right through to May, end of May 2038. So we've got this incredible planet of transpersonal love, mysticism, soulful engagement, conscious dreaming in Aries around active exploration. So this is why the ritual washing of the front door, working with the water, Neptune is the oceanic, the great cosmic womb of the mother, of the earth, and spending time by your sacred waterways or the ocean or the rivers or the creeks, or even just when it rains, or if you can, in the days when I was traveling a lot and spending a lot of time out traveling exotic countries, but also spending time in the cities, quite often I would just have my hands on the tap, the running waters that was coming out in the bathroom, and bless myself with the running waters that way. So kitchen witchery yet again. So the house sector in your natal chart that is governed by the sign Aries, the tropical sign of Aries, is the house that's going to be impacted by both Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is going to be in Aries over the next 2.5 years. So this is about really nourishing ourselves, coming back to the solar eclipse. Because it's in Aquarius, this is spending time nurturing and nourishing our nervous systems, because these are threshold gateways of transformation, of the old cycles ending and the new cycles beginning. So setting intentions for the new to come through. With Venus being reborn as the evening star in February, this is about finding quiet spaciousness to honor the cosmic queen of heaven as she rises reborn from the underworld. So spending time in your garden, growing your herbs, making beautiful ceremonial teas, listening to the quietness, if you can, of your environment around you, and knowing that it's about speaking quietly, listening to the plants, listening to the bird song. And it is about relationships going slowly with Saturn. Saturn is not fast moving, and it is about offering guidance. But also Neptune is tuning into the collective grief and loss that we're feeling with worldwide events. So, developing a strong sense of self and agency, and what is it that you need to tend to your inner fire. So we also work with Vesta, the asteroid goddess of hearth and home and fire magic. So tending to the inner flame within you, nurturing and nourishing yourself throughout this very transformative month of ushering in a new spiritual era with Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, the rare conjunction on the 14th, the solar eclipse in Aquarius. So also feeling into this collective social awakening, this call for humanity to radically allow ourselves to break out of the old ways that have been based on patriarchal power dynamics. And we are asking to break out and break free with a more empowered voice. So this is about coming back home to yourself, to your hearth fire, tending yourself this month with the closing of old cycles and the beginning of the new, and restoring yourself and knowing that you come from a place of a bold, courageous, fearless heart that has incredible passion and the courage to shine. And that could be shining out at night under the moonlight, under the starry skies, with just you and yourself being witnessed in the great mystery of life by the goddess of the night sky herself. So go well, beautiful people, cunning folk, and star lovers. My name is Mikailah Rachael from Star Witch Astrology, and it has been a wonderful pleasure to sit back today and share the star notes of February 2026 for you. And I look forward to joining you again for star notes for March and the equinox.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Your support means the world to me, and if you have a free moment and would like to leave a review, a comment, or a rating on your platform of choice, that would go a long way towards helping me to grow the podcast and reach more people. If you aren't already subscribed, check out my Substack newsletter. Over there, I share lots of free resources, as well as an option to join as a paid subscriber, which is another beautiful way you can support my work. May what you've heard today guide you in living a little more slowly and a little more connected.